All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you. This is our first workshop in a series of 3 workshops we're hosting on internships and research in STEM series. Lots of internships and research opportunities the due dates are coming up fast, may have already passed, but many of them come up in about February. So we wanted to host this early during winter to allow you to have time to look into it a little more and prepare for those opportunities. My name is Katie Owashi. I am the STEM Student Success Center Coordinator at Moreno Valley College, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Hi, and my name is Patricia Gill. I'm the STEM Services Developer for our Engineering Pathways and STEM Pathways program at Norco College. I do want to share the dates that are up on your screen, so you might want to bookmark them when you registered for this series. You're invited to attend all 3. It's not mandatory, but it sure will be helpful. So today's series starts off with an introduction to STEM internships and research opportunities. Next Tuesday as resume building, and we'll have a review session. And then on the 3rd Tuesday, the 26th, we'll have a student and alumni panel, students who have experienced an internship or research opportunity, and will share out how they went about applying and what their experience was like.
And I just want to note that this is being recorded. We'll provide the links to everybody after we upload the video. And also, don't worry too much about taking screenshots or anything. We will send a PDF to all attendees as well of the PowerPoint, so you can get all the information in your inbox.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is internships that are available to community college students. These are both paid and unpaid opportunities, and we just wanted to highlight some of the really successful internships and research opportunities or internships that our students have taken part in before that you may be interested in looking into. You can see there's a lot of different NASA internships available here. NASA has a lot of different opportunities available to you, and we've had many students participate in them. You don't have to be an aerospace engineer to participate. They take students from all different backgrounds in STEM and even outside of STEM. So if this is something you're interested in, I definitely recommend you take a look at. I'm going to highlight a few of these for you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the NASA National Community College Aerospace Scholars Program. That's our NCAS program. So this is specific to community college students. It's a really great, interesting experience only for community college students. It's authentic and includes web-based experiences where you interact directly with NASA engineers. Generally, there would also be opportunities to participate in person after you attend this program. I know they're still trying to figure out logistics with all of that with COVID, but it's really cool, interesting experience I recommend you check out. Another thing we wanted to point out is our NASA Jet Propulsion Lab year-round internships. I'm sure many of you have heard of the JPL lab. It's based out of Pasadena near Caltech. So it's actually really close and would be easy for students to commute. It would be like maybe an hour. Traffic has been like okay with COVID lately. So an hour to an hour and a half commute for you, but you don't have to actually live there to participate, which would be great. So these internships, we didn't list any specific ones because it's actually based on various projects that NASA employees have going on. So you have to work with certain employees, you have to apply and speak with them directly to try to get those internships. And we'll show some of the websites that you can search for these internships later on. I also wanted to touch on our Naval Research Enterprise Internship Program, the NREP program. This is a program that many of our students have participated in, especially at Norco College. I know Patricia has done a great job of getting our students into this program. What the really great thing about this is there's a naval base right next to Norco College. So when you're applying, you have to choose the various locations that you would be interested in interning in, and the Corona base is one of them that you can apply for. That's a really easy commute for many of our students. This is another one of those opportunities that is different based on the various projects that they have available. So I know this application is closed for this year, but it's something in the future if you'd be interested in looking more into what the Navy has going on research-wise, I definitely recommend checking out. And as you can see, we listed 3 different opportunities through UCR. We have a really great partnership with UCR, and they like to offer opportunities specifically for our community college students that we'll talk about much more as later as well, but just wanted to highlight them and let you know that there's great opportunities to learn more about UCR as well as get your research experience in. So like I mentioned, we'll go more over some of the internships and how you can find them later on, but we just wanted to highlight some of the ones that are specifically available to community college students that you might be interested in.
Thank you, Katie. One of the questions that most students have is like, what is an REU? An REU is a research experience for undergraduates. It is not specific to community college students, but also for your students as well. You actually get to work with faculty and other researchers on a specific research project in the lab. You're not fetching someone's coffee, you're not grabbing someone's lunch, other than probably your own, but you're actually learning directly from that faculty member and their research students on what is important and valuable to them on their project. It is usually a paid opportunity provided through the National Science Foundation, and it's available across the United States and also in international locations. And we're going to introduce to you how to go and search about those opportunities in different states. More often than not, those opportunities provide a small stipend for you to travel on and return home, and some living expenses in addition to that stipend while you're there for whatever it is, 6 to 8 to 10 weeks, okay? Areas of research. It isn't specifically to one area of STEM. I mean, there are research opportunities and you can search under whichever major or field of interest that might interest you. It could be anything from aerospace, chemistry, computer and information sciences, engineering, materials research, a whole host of subjects, and you can search by subject as well. So look for something that interests and captivates you. Why would you choose an REU? The benefits of participating in an REU are numerous. These are just a sample of things that would be useful to you. It would be an opportunity to learn and explore more about science or that subject matter in depth, especially if it's some subject matter is really important to you and it's something that you want to incorporate in your life's work. You'd be able to obtain valuable life experience, lab experience. If you have just, you know, I've only taken a chemistry class or a biology class, and that's the only opportunity I've had to work in a lab, more often than not, they're looking for people just like you. Why? Because they want you to learn. They want you to learn more in depth. They want you to have that opportunity to be able to put that on your resume. It gives you, the student, an experience to perform that research in a lab environment. There may be a training that they would send you to or provide for you. And oftentimes, as the more you progress in your education, they're looking for that more experienced undergraduate student. So this is a way for you to get your start. It also will help you build your skill set, strengthen your resume, apply your knowledge. More importantly, figure out, is this really what I want to do with my life? Do I want to pursue chemical engineering? Do I want to learn more about the environment? Do I really want to do that for the rest of my career? So it'll help you with your career choice, whether you really want to pursue the sciences or not. So many of us are very passionate about improving life on our planet and how we can make the world a better place. This is your opportunity to be able to do that. And it's a segue into graduate and professional schools, because there are so many opportunities for graduate students also in an REU environment, and they're very competitive. So the earlier you have this experience as a community college student, the better you're going to be able to improve your resume and your own skill set. And I think the most valuable part of choosing an REU to apply to and participate in is networking with STEM professionals. You'll be able to work hand in hand, side by side, with graduate students who are using this as their life's work, international and renowned scientists who want to make the world a better place, They could be your mentors. They could not just be someone that you're working for or working with, but someone that can provide that mentorship for you to pursue your life's work, your education, introduce you to what it's like to be at their institution. You might change your mind about going somewhere local after going through an REU and seeing what another university has to offer to you as a student. And that goes right into my find an RU that's right for you. Decide which locations that you prefer. Where do you really want to go? Like I said, look into that RU and see if they provide a travel stipend. Some of our students have been able to do an RU at USC and they provided housing for them and as well as a stipend once they finish their program. There's other students of ours who have gone to the University of Minnesota, University of Florida, and they've provided housing for them. Same thing at Berkeley. So don't think that one location is not an option for you. Check out the locations that are there, the opportunities that are available. If it's something that you're interested in, find the one that's right for you. Okay, decide which research is right up your alley. Research these websites that we're going to give you the link for, the requirements and the deadlines. Pay very close attention to those two items, and we're going to go through that very shortly. Get organized now. Prepare your materials. Get your ducks all in a row. The more prepared you are, the easier it is going to be for you to hit that submit button. Request letters of recommendation early. We're going to go more into letters of rec shortly, but decide who you want to be your advocate and prepare that letter of recommendation. Most importantly of all, submit your application on time. Do not delay. More often than not, they're not going to take a late submission. When they say 12:59 on a certain date PM, they mean, 11:59, that's what they mean. At 12 o'clock, that application closes, it's down. So make sure that you pay attention to the dates, timelines, and a lot of these opportunities are on other parts of the country. So pay attention to the time zone as well. It's not always Pacific time. Eligibility for NSF-sponsored REUs are mostly through the National Science Foundation. Do not apply to the National Science Foundation directly. Apply to the REU website that particular university or institution is hosting that particular opportunity. For the most part, you must be a US citizen, a US national, or a permanent resident unless they state otherwise. For students who are non-residents, a volunteer opportunity may be available. You can direct your inquiry to the host of that particular REU to see if that is an option that is available to you. Enrollment in a 2 or 4 year college or university is usually a requirement. REUs may invite high school students to apply, but and they'll be very specific on who is eligible. So pay attention to those eligibility requirements. And completion of a certain amount of units may also be a requirement. More often than not, they're looking for a second year student, and that can be a second year at a community college or a university, or they're looking for someone who's a rising junior. If you're at a community college and you're a STEM student, you're probably right in that area because most STEM students take about 3 years to complete their requirements before they're eligible for transfer.
All right, so now a little bit about the application essentials. I'm sure many of you have applied to many different things, and applying for an internship and or research opportunity is pretty much similar. So these are just some of the basics that you're going to have prepared when you're getting ready to submit that application. The first one is pretty obvious, but your personal information. Something that I recommend to our students, and I do personally myself, is to keep a running Google Doc of the various information that you'll need when applying. So that includes, you know, your information about your college or any schools that you have attended, the address that's there, any phone numbers that need to be there. Just keep it in one localized place. That includes any jobs that you had or volunteer opportunities that you have participated in, including those dates and any phone numbers you may have to submit as well. It's good to keep all this information in one place so you don't have to be jumping back and forth, and you keep consistent information. We'll go a little more into statement of purpose and interest shortly. Your official or unofficial transcripts, and there are various ways to obtain these. If you need official transcripts, you're going to have to go through the process of requesting them, and occasionally you will have to pay for them. I know that I believe with RCCD, you can request 1 or 2 copies of your official transcript free, and then additional ones after that you'll have to pay for. Unofficial transcripts, there are different ways to get them and different requirements that people may have. You may be able to request them through WebAdvisor, or perhaps just taking a screenshot of your schedule would be acceptable, but make sure to look at the application requirements before you decide which one is correct to include. Then you have your resume or curriculum vitae. So those are 2 different documents. Generally, what they'll look for is a resume, because a curriculum vitae is going to include more of professional publications or any teaching you may have done, but you may include all of those things and combine them. So we'll talk a bit more about the resume shortly, and then of course we're going to have a really great workshop next week. But some of the things you're going to want to include in there is related coursework, some of the experiences that may be related to the opportunity that you're applying, and whether you participated in any honors, gotten any awards, or have participated in extracurricular activities. And then finally, the last thing you'll need is some letters of recommendation or your references. So there may be different requirements for this, and Patricia will talk about that shortly as well. Sometimes they will want you to submit the letter directly. Sometimes they will ask for contact information for your recommenders so they can contact them and get the recommendation directly. All right, so a little bit about the statement of purpose or interest. You might also hear this being called a cover letter. So what you're going to want to include in this, other than some basic information about yourself, is how you're going to benefit from this experience. So whether that's going to be that you are going to further your knowledge and experience in science, whether you want to find out if this is the kind of path that you want to take, you want to talk about your connection to the specific research. Sometimes it's good to include some like personal stories in that, say that you are applying to a internship or research opportunity that has to do with medicine, and you can talk about an experience you've had maybe with a relative who has been ill or something that's personal to you. You also could talk about your future career goals, whether this is going to fit in your plan or it's something that you just want to find out more before pursuing. And also that it can benefit your networking and training. These are all great benefits from the opportunity that researchers would take into consideration. You might also want to include why you want to participate in this specific research opportunities. So that's where it's important. You may have a generalized cover letter that you use throughout the various applications, but you do want to include specific information when applying. So make sure you read thoroughly through your cover letter and include that specific information about this opportunity that you're applying for. So whether it's that you want to learn more about this problem or you have a passion about finding a solution to this problem, maybe this fits into the field that you're interested in becoming a part of, or your career or long-term goals. Maybe attending grad school is in your future, or a PhD program, and you could mention that. Or perhaps there's a particular faculty member or scientist who is hosting this opportunity that you want to learn more from or get to know. And these are all important things that you can include. And it also shows that I'm not just submitting my generic cover letter. This is something that is personal and important to me. All right, a couple of application suggestions for you all. You definitely want to have at least one person review your application before you submit it. So there are some different people that you can come to ask for that, Patricia and myself are very good opportunities. We're always open to reviewing any applications, cover letters, resumes that you may have. It's just a good way to have someone take another look at it. It's the same way like with your homework or your essays before you submit. Sometimes just getting that extra pair of eyes on it can really make a difference. You really want to make sure that each part of the application is complete before submitting. A lot of times, the little red box will pop up if you're missing something, but make sure you go through it and check that everything that is you wanted to attach is attached, and that all the information is correct and specific to the opportunity you're applying for. Submit your application prior to the due date. This is an important one to talk about because sometimes there are rolling deadlines on these opportunities. And what they'll do is they say, well, the final deadline is by March 31st, but we're going to start looking at applications by February 15th. If you're in that early submission period, you could get considered earlier than others and perhaps get a better chance at getting one of those spots. So it's a good idea to submit it as soon as possible. They're not going to get, it's not going to get lost in the slew of submissions. So don't worry about that. Just make sure you take a look at the due dates and submit it at a time which fits best for you. And then, which Patricia is going to talk about more shortly, is request your letters of recommendation early. We all know that faculty, staff, administrators, things get really busy. So try to look at the different timelines and ask for your letters of recommendation at a time which you feel faculty can best attend to it. So that means look out for big breaks like spring break, winter break, holidays, and it's okay to ask more than one recommender. Sometimes faculty or your recommender that you're asking may not be able to submit what you're asking for in the timeline you're asking for it. We recommend that you ask for letters of recommendation at least 4 weeks before the due date, and don't be afraid to send gentle reminders. I know it can be scary, but the truth is that we're all human and we forget things sometimes. So it's okay to follow up and say, hey, I was just checking on the status of the letter of recommendation that I asked for and to see if it's been submitted. Thank you again for, you can always follow up with all the nice things to say, but it's okay to send reminders. And finally, end with a thank you note. It's always nice to just let them know that you appreciate their time and their effort in helping you with this opportunity. All right, a little bit about the resume template. I did include this link on our flyer if you saw that, and we'll go over it a little more later. But this document that I've included, and I'll put the link in the chat, is very similar to the resume template that NASA requests when you are applying to their internship opportunities. It's a very simple, clear-cut template that is included. You are, of course, welcome to deviate from this template and use your own, but this is something that we definitely recommend when applying to STEM internship and research opportunities because it has all the information you might need and is clearly laid out. So some of the recommendations that we have are to keep it simple, clean, and complete. So this is where that Google Doc with all your information will also come into play, having that personal information, your education, your current school, major, predicted transfer date, and your current cumulative GPA. You also want to include any relative coursework or related coursework that may be applicable to this opportunity you're applying for. Work experiences. Now, this is an interesting one because I know a lot of times people feel like, well, if I just work at a clothing store or a restaurant, how does that really apply? But we all know that transferable skills are so important and way more applicable than you might think. So make sure to include those work experiences, and you can also tailor some of those descriptions to fit the opportunity you're applying for. So, whether that be you were involved in doing research on the different clientele who you worked with, or having to do things like working with money, inventory, things like that. These are all really important skills that are applicable to research and internships. So make sure to include those. Volunteer experiences are also really great to include. and as well as those honors, awards, and extracurricular activities that are applicable or might make you look really good. So these are all things that you can include. Now, as a reminder, you don't have to include every single one of these categories. Include what works best for you and what will fit best with the opportunity that you're applying for. All right, I'm just going to copy it. I'll include that link shortly. All right.
Just included it in the chat for you.
Katie. Oh, thank you, Patricia.
You're welcome. Okay, who do I ask for a letter of recommendation? How do I go about it? Letters of recommendation are best from faculty because other faculty like to talk to other faculty. Your counselor, your advisor, your mentor, supervisors, but more importantly, people who know you, people who know your experiences, your work ethic, and your goals are your best advocates because they're going to be able to speak to your abilities better than anybody else. They're going to know your hopes and dreams and your career aspirations, what you're about, and what you've been involved in. Your faculty are your best option. Like I said, get to know your professors now or your advisors now. Get to know them on a personal level. Make a regular appointment with them at their convenience, on their time, during their office hours. Try not to hit them up right after class when they might have another class to go to or another appointment. They're busy people too, so be respectful of their time. Learn about them and their experiences. More often than not, they've had another life other than this one. And it could be out in industry, it could have been at another university. They have so many more opportunities that they've had been a part of that they can share with you and help you guide your path. Okay. So develop that mentor-mentee relationship with your faculty. Be choosy about who you choose to be that recommender because you want them to put you in the best possible positive light. So check out your faculty just like they would be checking you for an interview. Okay, so interview your professors and see which one do you find that relationship with, someone easy to talk to, someone that has the same interests as you, or that can open up that door for you. Share your own goals, your challenges, and your efforts to apply to an internship or an RU. Be honest with them. Let them know that this is something that's important to you and you feel that would be valuable to your educational experience. So let them know that you are looking for a letter of recommendation and is it something that they would be willing to do, okay? Ask them early about providing that letter of recommendation, but let that foundation be set, okay? Give them a copy of your resume because they may not know everything about you. They may not know that you're that coder that's never taken a computer science class, but this is a secret passion of yours and that you've learned how to use Python and Raspberry Pis all on your own, you know. They may not know that you're an aspiring doctor and have done volunteer work at local hospitals. They may not know that cancer research is very important to you because of a family member that took ill and had that very same disease. So give them a copy of your resume, let them know who you are, what your goals are, information about the internship that you're applying for, because that's going to help them address that letter of recommendation in the most positive way for you and to highlight your accomplishments. So don't be shy. Okay, this is not the time to be modest. This is the time for you to share what you've actually done, especially if you've had a leadership role, whether it be a leadership role in a club or associated students in government or community service out in your church or in the community, association that or organization that is very important to you, like the American Cancer Society or the National Kidney Foundation, service learning projects that you've been a part of, things that you've built on your own. We have a former student who loves to build things, and he's just always trying to be that next entrepreneur. So if that's something that's valuable and important to you, but it's not reflecting on your resume, then make sure that your recommender knows that that's something that you have that skill set for. Okay. Another way to participate in research is look for service learning projects. At Norco College, we have a collaboration with Loma Linda University through their orthotics and prosthetics department. And we're going into our 5th year iteration beginning in February 2021. We're having a meeting with their department head officials this Friday. So a release about what this project involves and entails will be coming out shortly. So be looking to our website and also to our social media for that invitation for RCCD students to participate in. Search for faculty at local universities. UC Riverside is right in our backyard. Look to see what kind of research that their faculty is performing and doing, and see if it's something that interests you. Contact them via email. Tell them who you are. I'm a community college student, a local community college student, first generation, low income student who really wants to get involved in research, or whoever you are. Let them know that this is something that you would like to do, and if you could actually volunteer in their lab. Researchers love free labor, okay? They may not be able to take you all the time, especially in this COVID environment, but it never hurts to ask. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't put yourself out there, no one else will, okay? Maybe possible to work out a stipend if you've been working in their lab as a volunteer for some time. That was actually one of the opportunities one of our former students did. They volunteered their time at CSERT through UC Riverside for about 8 months before he was offered a position for pay, and he took it, and now he's finishing up his time at UCR and moving on to his own entrepreneurial adventures. So search for opportunities with nonprofit agencies, like I mentioned before, or volunteer at a research hospital. Especially if your goal is to go into medicine of some kind. Chalk Hospital is always looking for volunteers, St. Jude's, Loma Linda. There may be a training regimen that you may have to go through, a fee that you might have to pay for a uniform, but look for those opportunities as well. They are out there even in this COVID environment. They're very selective, but they're always looking for a volunteer. And this is great credence to put to your resume that you've actually done some community service and that you've learned from those experiences. Internship and research experiences, you can find a host of them on our website at Norco College STEM Pathways program. The link is provided for you there. And we're going to be adding them to Canvas very soon. So look for that.
And then also through the NEC STEM Engagement Center, I do have a database which I'd like to share with you all that you are welcome to look at. And this is open to any RCCD student. You don't just have to be a Moreno Valley student, and you can navigate it to it through your Canvas page. If it's okay, I'll just share it really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Got to find it, in all of my... All right. I can't see.
We'll be gravitating to a very similar database like this to post on our website as well, and also through Canvas. So thank you to Katie for creating this great spreadsheet of opportunities that are available to you as students.
All right, so this is the internship research opportunity database that I've put together. This is not fully extensive. This is just some of the opportunities that I know students have taken part of that may be specific towards community college students and are more particularly on our West Coast area. And then I'll talk a little bit more later about a broader database you can use to search throughout the entire nation. But in this database, I have basic information about the opportunity, what basic fields it fits into, the deadline, and then whether it's a paid opportunity and whether there is travel and housing included. So this is a good way to just quickly look through some different things that may be offered and quickly check dates. And then all you would have to do is click on the name and a link will pop up for you to follow and look a little more into that opportunity that may be available to you. So that's, and I'll share, oh, I think Patricia just shared the link for it. So you guys can check it out. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And again, don't worry about screenshotting this. We'll send you the PDF so you can figure out how to navigate to that. A little bit about some local upcoming internships and research opportunities that you may be interested in. One of them is the UC Riverside School of Medicine FPL program. So that's the Future Physicians Leaders program. So that is a local 7-week program hosted through UCR for those who may be interested in pursuing medicine. It's actually also a long-lasting mentorship program. So even after participating in this program, you have opportunities to network and be involved far beyond this one 7-week opportunity. We are actually going to have 2 information sessions about this program. One of them is going to be in February and one will be in March. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye out. We'll send information out about that. The second one is the UCR School of Medicine Health Coach Program. This is another volunteer program focused on training health coaches to support patients with chronic conditions. This is, again, another really great opportunity for you to see if medicine is something that you want to pursue. And if medical school is in your future, these are really great opportunities to put on your application. So again, keep an eye out for these, more information about these opportunities, really great opportunities if you're interested in medicine.
Okay, and the TUNE Summer Bridge to Research program is a program through UCR's Bourne College of Engineering to assist transfer students from a community college become more familiar and aware of the programs that they have through research at UC Riverside. Transfer students who have been accepted to UC Riverside's Bourne College of Engineering are eligible for this particular opportunity. We will be having Janet Cabrera next week as part of the reviewers to assist you with your resumes next week, so you can ask her a little bit about that, but she's also available to answer any questions about this particular opportunity. There is a stipend involved that is a $5,000 stipend for 10 weeks of research. If you have been accepted into Bourne College of Engineering as a transfer student, you're able to apply. The applications become available, I believe, in April. They have a select amount of students that are eligible to apply because they only have so much money to grant, but you would be able to do research with faculty and graduate students in a particular area and then present those findings in a symposium type atmosphere. 4 of our students from Norco College were selected last summer to do this online research because of COVID. So they were able to do their research with their team and present their findings at the end of those 10 weeks and earn their $5,000 stipend. Southern California Edison has an open internship program for summer 2021. That link will take you to the information about their summer internship program, where you can learn areas of engineering through their internship program with Edison in various locations, where it could be Pomona, it could be Rosemead. It depends on where you're trying to apply, but that learning experience is valuable to all students. So please take a look at that. And it is also a paid internship. So the last 2 are paid. I believe the one for the medicine and health coach program also is a paid opportunity. FPL is a volunteer opportunity for you to take part in. So those are things that are up and coming. So bookmark your calendars and start preparing your applications.
And this is just a list of various places that you can search for different internship and research opportunities. I'm going to go over one of them that I found really useful in compiling my database, but these are all different places that you can search for many different opportunities. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and I'm going to pull up the pathways-to-science.org, which is a very great resource. All right, so this is pathways-to-science.org. So this is a place where you can search for all sorts of different opportunities. If you just come up to this top bar, you can click on undergrads. And from here, you can see you have different opportunities to search through. I think it's most useful to look through their compilation of their summer research experiences and paid internships. And then from here, you can put in all sorts of search criteria. So whether that is you want to search by a specific user group or level of study, undergraduate students would be good. A specific institution you're looking for, you can leave it blank if you want to search for all institutions. If there's a specific category or discipline you want to look at, you can choose from that here. Or if you want to look in a specific geographical area, you can filter through that here. I'd also recommend using the advanced search function because from here, you can actually choose a box which will show opportunities that specifically encourage community college applications. I found it's most useful to look to choose one criteria first, and then you can start filtering from there. Right. So I think I'll give you a quick example of searching through opportunities. I think it's really good to like in the Pacific West. It'll pull up the different opportunities that are available. And then you can kind of filter through. What I like about this is it includes the link directly to the application, the deadline. And then if you actually click on it, it'll give you a little more information on the description, where the participating institutions are. So this particular opportunity is being offered at Stanford and all these other locations. And then the different disciplines that it fits really well into. So, and then down here, you can click to learn more and apply specifically at the website. So Pathways to Science is a really great place that you can do some specific searching. There's also the NSF website that you can search through their various opportunities. So if you go to nsf.gov, I just searched NSF research experiences for undergraduates, and it'll bring you to this site. And you can search for different REU sites based on the various disciplines or subjects, and also include some other searching criteria. So this is a good opportunity to look for those NSF-sponsored research opportunities. And there's other, the STEMundergrads.science.gov will also offer some different places to search. So these are just some of the places that you can look for the different opportunities that may interest you. All right. Oh, before we finish this, I'm sorry. I want to pull up the resume just to go over it a little bit.
The link's in the chat, Katie.
Thank you so much. All right, so this is that basic resume template that we have shared with you. This is what, again, we are recommending you use when applying to STEM internships and research. It's not a requirement. It's just something that's very easy to navigate, simple to fill out, and at the end of the day, will provide all the information you need to provide when applying for these internships and research opportunities. Note here at the top that this is just a suggested layout, and make sure to remove all the red notes before you submit it because those are just directions. So
please don't type in red.
Yeah, don't type in red. So you can, in the red is where you can fill in the various information, like you're a electrical engineer major seeking an internship with, and you could list the specific place you're looking to apply to. Again, make sure you tailor these resumes to each opportunity you're applying to. Do not submit a generic one because they are looking for people who are passionate and interested in their opportunity. When submitting your education, please do not list your high school. If you're applying to an opportunity that's specific for college students, they're going to be looking for your college information. So you can list any college that you have attended and include your current college. the duration of time you've been there, your current major and minor, and expected transfer date, and your cumulative GPA. In your related coursework, make sure to, again, tailor this to the various opportunities you're applying for, and include anything else that you think would be useful for them to know that you have already gotten some education in when you're applying. Academic experiences that you may have participated in and would be relevant to the opportunity you're applying for. This could also include any talks that you've attended or conferences that you attended. Make sure to just include anything you think would be important they know that you participated in. We talked a little bit about work experience and volunteer experience. Make sure to remember those transferable skills are important. And just because you don't think it's related doesn't mean that's necessarily true. Down here, we want you to include any skills you may have that would be important for them to know about. Being bilingual in English and Spanish is a really great skill that can be useful in a lot of different opportunities. So make sure you don't leave that out if that's something you have. Any different programming experience you have, maybe some different operating systems that you have experience with. Lots of different information you can include there. And you can finish off with your extracurricular activities, any other interesting things that you have been involved in that may be of interest. Note at the bottom, like Patricia mentioned, please don't include this in red. They really like to just see your resume in black and white. We don't need any photographs. Don't include any personal information like your social security number. And make sure that it's really easy to read. So keep it in a simple, easy to read text, and don't make it too small. So don't make it text that's less than 10 point. Anything else you wanted to add, Patricia?
This is like what Katie has given you an example is a really great template to use for a variety of your resumes. You can never have enough. You can always tailor your resume according to what opportunity you're trying to seek. So bear that in mind when you're creating a resume. And we have a little homework assignment for you attendees. So we welcome you to use this template and create your own resume. If you have one that's already something that you've already used, you're welcome to use that for next week's session. But we really would like you to use this template and fill in all of the blanks. If you have or need any assistance, we'll be more than happy to assist you with that. But next week we'll have a host of advisors that will be able to provide some feedback for you, some one-on-one time. So bring your completed resume to next week's session, whether you're attending the 1 o'clock session or the 5 p.m. session. We are looking forward to meeting with you and providing you some direction on what your resume should look like ideally so that you can proceed to apply to those internships in the future. Now, before we go and open it up for questions, I do want to let y'all know that we have contact information for Katie and myself. Please email us, let us know if you have any questions or other pressing things that you want to explore. We're here to help you.